Sometimes when you go to view a structural model of a protein or other macromolecular complex that was solved using X-ray crystallography, you see something kind of different than what you'd expect. So say you know your protein is a tetramer, so it has 4 chains, and you go to look at it and you see 2 tetramers. This is because what you're looking at is the asymmetric unit, labeled model here, as opposed to the actual biological functional unit, which is the assembly. And so sometimes you actually have multiple assemblies because there can be multiple copies of that same thing within the asymmetric unit. So let me step back a little and talk about kind of the makeup of a crystal. And so if you think about a crystal, you've got lots and lots of copies of kind of the same thing over space. And so if I want to actually show you this, I can kind of show you something like this. I'm going to change the representation so that we don't see the surface, but we see the cartoon. And you see something like this, where you have lots and lots and lots of copies of this. But those copies aren't always identical. You have some part that is identical that is copied over and over and over and over again. And that identical part is called the asymmetric unit. And then you have what we call the unit cell. And so the unit cell is kind of one of the ways that you can generate symmetry, and you can look at the symmetry within a crystal. And so if you think about the unit cell as being kind of like a brick, you're going to have a brick wall made up of these unit cells, and then each of the unit cells is going to be identical and contain the same components. And so if I look at the unit cell, what I'm going to do is, to make this actually easier to see, I'm going to attach it in the center. And now, instead of showing you all of these copies, I'm going to go back to just showing you the asymmetric unit. And so remember the asymmetric unit, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to model. And that's going to show me the asymmetric unit, which is the smallest unique part. And then you would have multiple copies of this within the unit cell. But you see that within that unique part, you still have these 2 copies of the protein in this case. This isn't always true, but sometimes it is. And the reason why it is because there can be differences in kind of like crystal packing and stuff that make it so that they're making different contacts with the thing next to them that might kind of squish it in a little bit in one area, or make it slightly different. Sometimes they have different occupancies, so if they're bound to, say, a cofactor, or maybe they're bound to some other, like a metal or something, it could be that in some of the copies, so in some of the functional units, it's missing in that form, and then in others it's not. And so they might have kind of differences in those, where you have one assembly where it's bound to the ion or whatever, and then one assembly where it's not. So this copy is slightly different than this copy, but then you have this unit overall is going to be identical throughout the entire crystal. And so if you think about like a shoebox, this could be kind of like your right shoe and your left shoe, but then you kind of have this one little shoebox, one pair of shoes, and then you've got a lot of those pairs of shoes within this overall kind of crate of shoeboxes. Just go with it. So this one might be slightly different than this one, but they're often very similar. And if you want to look at them individually, then you're going to want to go to assembly. And so the assembly, you can see it's like author and software defined. And so the author or the software can automatically determine it or whatever. And you can say, okay, this is the assembly, one of the assemblies, and this is the other one of the assemblies. And then together they make up that asymmetric unit. And then you get a lot of these asymmetric units together that are ultimately making up the crystal. And so you build up this huge crystal, and you're going to have actually lots and lots of these unit cells. And there's a lot of things that you can do with this software. And so this is Molstar. I typically use PyMol. There's also Chimera X and things. But play around, find what works for you. But remember, don't get tripped up if you're looking at the model. That's just the asymmetric unit. It might not be what you're actually interested in. You might be interested in the assembly. There might be multiple assemblies. Sometimes, usually one of them is kind of just chosen as the default. And then those are kind of like your left and right shoes. You don't always have left and right shoes unless you have a single shoe. Sometimes you've got even more than 2 shoes in a box. But that's going to be your asymmetric unit, and then you build up a lot of asymmetric units to make a crystal. Here's just another example, and so this is actually showing you a protein bound to DNA. And so if I look at the model, that's the asymmetric unit, remember? And so here again, we see that we kind of have these two copies. This is going to be our assembly. So there's our assembly 2 and our assembly 1. Now I can actually just show these all. You can see we have the unit cell, and then we've got lots and lots of copies of these. So just be aware that when you go and you actually download the structure, make sure it's actually what you think you're looking at and what you should be looking at. You might have to go in and delete extra chains, or when you're importing, just go and import the assembly rather than the asymmetric unit. And so the asymmetric unit is going to be labeled the model, but then the assemblies are kind of the biological functional units.